No, observed on the ground, little teeny tiny square. What is this? This is pathetic. 9 minutes.
Been getting a lot of messages about this, and the National Weather Service just officially put a tornado warning on this system. This is, let me get the details for the system just right now. Let me pull it up. This is a tornado warning for southeastern Lee County and southeastern New Mexico. It's a confirmed tornado that was located near Momentum, near Hobbs, moving northeast at 25 miles per hour. We are still trying to get confirmed reports if this tornado is still on the ground. We had pictures sit in just 10 minutes ago, and we've been seeing storm chasers that are currently out monitoring the storm as well. And we also have other folks that we know that are also monitoring this storm as well on the ground. So right now, let me go ahead and on our velocity scan, we're not seeing anything evident. I'm also looking at a velocity product on my phone because even on our program here, we're not seeing anything too defined. So the tornado that we did see, it was a very more thin rope tornado that was coming in like this. It's been a lot of posts about it on social media. I guess if there's any way we could possibly get a picture up of this tornado that was spotted, that would be great. If anyone in production could possibly see if we can get that photo, let me go ahead and if that's something that could possibly be done. Jordan, okay, hang on. Let me go ahead and
Can we check the weather channel for you?
okay. I saw reports of a picture from okay. So we're gonna go ahead and see if we can pull up that picture of the tornado that was on the ground. It was approximately 10 to 15 minutes ago that there was reports of this tornado on the ground. The National Weather Service just put the warning on just a couple minutes ago, really not too long ago, because I think because it's just really how the velocity scan is, it was really hard to be able to get an actual confirmation spot, at least on radar. We did have that more visual representation, but it was a very thin rope. So right now, they are treating this as it is still an observed tornado that is on the ground. Let me go ahead and take it off velocity super quick, and let me go ahead and get the track in. So right now, treat this as this is an actual tornado that is on the ground. So right now, it is heading towards Hobbs. Let me get more details on this system and see how fast it is moving for you. 25 miles per hour, so taking it over, tracking it over. So right now, it is heading towards Hobbs, New Mexico at 3:57 Mountain Time, heading towards Eagle Stadium at 3:59 p.m. Mountain Time. So treat this as if the tornado is still on the ground. Right now, we don't have exact confirmation if it is still on the ground. Okay. Okay, we're still gonna try to work to see if we can get some form of picture of this tornado by any chance at all. So, okay, let me go ahead and see if I can find anything on my end super quick. If you do have a picture of this tornado that was spotted on the ground just about 15 minutes ago, please feel free to go ahead and send us a picture so we can go ahead and show it up on our stream that for people that have seen this tornado. So right now it is heading over towards the Heiser Middle School by 3:57 p.m. Mountain Time, heading towards Hobbs, New Mexico by 3:57 p.m. Mountain Time, and Eagle Stadium by 3:59 p.m. Mountain Time. So treat this as a tornado that is on the ground concurrently. Right now, let me go ahead and view our velocity product to see if we can kind of get more of a better image to see if there is still an active rotation. So it looks like there is still a little bit of inflow, kind of a little bit of rotation. It's very more kind of like a thin broad, which right now, let me see if the National Weather Service, if they put in any details within the system, because typically when it comes to tornado warnings, they constantly update it on our end. So right now, the latest information they have, which this was updated at 3:34 p.m. Mountain Time, so it was just under close to 10 minutes ago now. They confirmed that weather spotters did see and confirm a tornado that was on the ground. Right now, we're seeing it on just a different type of velocity product that I'm looking on my phone. It looks like there's still some type of rotation trying to incur in it. It looks right now it's a little bit on the weak side, but still, regardless, this is still a tornado warning system. Treat it as if there is a tornado on the ground. So let's go ahead and get those details again. Right now, it is moving. This system, it has 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts and half-dollar size hail. It's moving northeast at 25 miles per hour. It's 13 miles west of Eunice, and it was located 8 miles northwest of the Eunice airport. So let me go ahead and get this tracking. It is heading more in the northeast direction. Let me redo that box one more time for you. It is expected to be heading over into Hobbs by 3:53 p.m. just from this latest track. Let me go ahead and get it widened out for you so you can really see the whole system of the cell. They went ahead and updated a new tornado warning heading over into Hobbs, New Mexico. Let me go ahead and get more details on this system right now. Just now breaking in, they went ahead and extended the tornado warning heading over into Hobbs, New Mexico. Right now, they are still confirming that this is a weather spotter, the confirmed tornado that is on the ground. It was located over Hobbs, moving northeast at 25 miles per hour at 3:42 p.m. This tornado warning is in effect till 4 p.m. Mountain Time. Let me go ahead and track this out again. It's moving northeast at 25 miles per hour. Let me go ahead and get that tracking. So it is expected to be going over Hobbs now. Just tracking is a little faster now at 3:48 p.m. Let me go ahead and pull up our reflectivity product. It'll give us more of an idea. We do see a definite hook over the Hobbs, New Mexico region. There is a tornado that is currently on the ground heading over towards Hobbs, New Mexico. It is expected to be moving at 25 miles per hour. So I've had to guess the system's going to be lasting over in 10 to 15 minutes. It's going to be very quick moving. So if you see any type of, if you hear kind of more like if there sounds like a train that is roaring, that is more than likely there is a tornado that is on the ground concurrently. Let me go ahead and pause the reflectivity so I can take it up and track it more right there. We do see that definite hook that is pretty evident over just a little bit more south of the Hobbs, New Mexico region over on Highway 18, passing an intersection with 8. Let me go ahead and track this out. It is passing over Hobbs right now, moving northeast. Right now, it should be passing near the Edison Elementary School at 3:46 p.m. by an Eagle Stadium at 3:48 p.m. It is overpassing the intersection between Highway 8 and Highway 18 right now over Hobbs, New Mexico. Let me go ahead, my mistake. Let me go ahead and go back super quick. Okay. Let me get more of the zoom in. They expired the other tornado. This tornado warning is lasting until 4 p.m. Mountain Time. Right now, it is 3:45 over there. So this system, National Weather Service are reporting this system should have just 15 minutes left right now. which they are reporting up to ping pong size hail, which is confirmed by weather spotters currently at the moment as this tornado is passing through. Right now, on reflectivity, let me go ahead and pause it. We are seeing definition of some form of rotation. Let me go ahead and draw this out for you. Right now, we are seeing it kind of go in more so like this and also in like that. It is very more of a kind of a thin-like system. So if you are seeing this system on the ground, go indoors, get into the most interior place of your home if possible. If you are on the road, just try to get into some form of safe area within the region. So let me go ahead and erase these lines out here. Let me readjust my graphics super quick. Right now it is moving northeast 25 miles per hour, confirmed near Hubs, New Mexico. Right now moving up towards near Denver City. It is still outside of our area. If this tornado warning still stay on the ground, Denver City, if you have any family out there, go ahead and get prepared and get ready just in case this tornado still keeps on traversing through, which right now there is still kind of a definite hook. It's a little bit more of a wider hook that we are seeing on radar right now, which right now, let me go ahead and track it out again. It is heading towards Eagle Stadium by 3:47 p.m. Mountain Time right now. The tornado is still confirmed on the ground. Let me get more details if they've updated the warning. The last update was at 3:42 p.m. National Weather Service in Midland issued the tornado warning for the southeastern Lee County in southeastern Mexico. A confirmed tornado was on the ground moving northeast at 25 miles per hour with damaging winds up to 60 miles per hour with ping pong size hail. So they also confirmed the tornado should be passing over just right now. The tornado will be around Hobbs, New Mexico around 3:45 p.m. Mountain Time. It is currently 3:47 p.m. Mountain Time. So if you are within the region, stay indoors until you just know that storm is out of the region. We will let you know when it is possibly safe to even head out, but even then, stay in your safe zones. Stay in the most interior part of your home as the storm is still going to be continuing and passing through right now. Right now, let me see if there's any updates or if there's been any types of pictures of this tornado by any chance, or if there's any storm spotters that are on the ground that currently have an eye on the system, so we can kind of get more of an overlook and see where the system could be actually currently at on the ground besides radar, because radar only updates every so often. So let me go ahead, just give me 1 second. Right now, if you're just now joining us, there is a tornado warning in Hobbs, New Mexico, and it is passing through it right now, heading out towards passing Eagle Stadium. Let me go ahead and get a refresh for the system. Get more close in. I apologize for the going in and out. By the way, they just extended a severe thunderstorm warning just south of it as well. So Hobbs, New Mexico, I would keep an eye also on this system as this tornado warning is still expected to be coming and passing through. Which right now it does kind of have some form of hook that we are still keeping an eye on. Go ahead and track this out just a little bit more further northeast. Okay. Okay. Go ahead and keep it playing. So if you are just now joining us, there is a confirmed tornado warning in Hobbs, New Mexico. It should already be passing within the region, about to pass over Highway 180 with the intersection between 132 and also 18. Let me zoom in to get more of a closer look. It is right now the system, if the confirmed where the hook is evident. Let me pull up velocity so we can kind of get more of a clearer picture if we can within the system. Let me pause it right now. This is where the hook would evidently be passing over near East Main or East Clinton Street right now. It's really hard to see any type of evident rotation. This system has really been, honestly, a little bit more disorganized at first. So right now, still, if you're in Hobbs, New Mexico, you do have a tornado warning that is still passing over you. It is set to expire at 4 p.m. Mountain Time. Which, to go over more of the details, this system does have 60 mile per hour wind gusts with ping pong size hail that has been reported from weather spotters within the system. Yeah. Okay. And also just a quick reminder too, within this tornado warning, it could still extend well out. So if you are within the vicinity just outside northeast of Hobbs, New Mexico, there is still a chance of it possibly going up a little bit more into Lee County, possibly even heading into Denver City. If you have any family members out in Denver City, tell them to go ahead and be prepared, as the system is expected to go ahead and keep passing by. Right now, we're not getting the best type of velocity scan within the system. We're still trying to get more of a clearer picture, but it is starting to get slowly out of the National Weather Service's radar outlook. And we try to get access to Lubbock's radar. We're not really seeing anything that evident currently at the moment on their radar.
Yeah, so we're continuing to watch the situation right now. Andy has been working nonstop all throughout this afternoon and this evening. Let me get you the latest on this tornado. So it first started off, professional storm chasers were right to the southwest, of Hobbs, New Mexico. Now, when that storm actually dropped a tornado, the National Weather Service of Midland had yet to actually issue any kind of warning. It was still severe thunderstorm warned, which had about ping pong sized hail, so about an inch and a half in terms of diameter, and we also saw the chance for about 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. Now, radar was able to pick up at least a little bit of velocity, but much of what we saw in velocity was not real significant. Now, granted, a rope tornado is still going to be a tornado, just a very weak, very isolated region where we're actually seeing a lot of that activity. So zooming in, kind of seeing exactly what's going on, that's why the National Weather Service issued one of the smallest warning boxes ever to be issued. Now, this warning box is still small, but it's still over top of Hobbs, New Mexico, which is a very heavily populated region, and beautiful little city on top of it as well. But unfortunately, we're kind of in between a rock and a hard place when it comes to radar imaging from this. Notice how if I zoom out, we kind of look over Midland, Odessa, right at the Midland International Airport is where we get that radar feed. Now, kind of moving closer toward Hobbs, you're noticing a little bit more of that purple. That purple is kind of where the radar is beginning to break apart just a little bit. And you know what, we're also continuing to see just a little bit more of that activity, again, picking up from the Lubbock radar itself. Now, the Lubbock radar is, again, also pretty far away. Still kind of at the edge of where these two radars would typically pick up a lot of that information. Now, the latest people in Hobbs are now reporting that they are hearing the tornado sirens going off. Certainly not a surprise there. That tornado warning still in effect for the next 8 minutes. We're going to stay on the air, of course, until this tornado goes away. But let's also go ahead and just pull up, rather than the velocity, but also the actual radar itself too, to kind of emphasize just how strong this storm is and kind of the direction that it's going to be moving into. So zooming in a little bit more on Hobbs, you can certainly see that hook echo. So let's go ahead and pause it in place. You could see that hook, that little piece of the storm kind of swinging around toward the edge of Highway 180. That's where we tend to see a lot of that tornadic activity taking place, and we're continuing to see that storm still warn until about 4 o'clock. You can go ahead and come on through, Andy. It's fine. You're good. You're good. Now, we got the whole team here because we are expecting a number of severe thunderstorms and potential tornado warnings, severe thunderstorm warnings all throughout this evening. Now, the latest from the National Weather Service, they were showing a rotating wall cloud. Now, that wall cloud tends to be associated with a large-scale storm that's going to be developing quickly. Now, a lot of the storms that we've been watching today haven't really ramped up in activity until the last couple of hours. The main reason for that? Heat. Now, you tend to see a lot of that daytime heating during the later part of the afternoon when it's quite warm out there. When that happens, you get a lot more activity. You get that warm air rising that causes the storms to rapidly gain strength, gain height, and then even start to spin, especially when it's along a nice dry line like this. Now, the latest with this storm, zooming in, you can kind of see it behind me. Yeah, still tornado warned near kind of Navajo Drive, East Navajo Drive. That's where we're seeing kind of the edge of that storm with the latest radar loop. But let's go ahead and check out what the latest from the National Weather Service is also saying saying about this storm. I'm not seeing a ton of information or a ton of big updates too. The storm itself been moving about 25 miles per hour to the northeast. Now you probably think to yourself, well, that's about the speed of a school zone. That doesn't seem very fast. But for a storm itself, anything above 20 miles an hour, this means the storm is going to be moving relatively quickly in comparison to what we tend to see. So yes, you might be able to easily outrun it in your car, so to say, but I'm also just not seeing a ton of activity beyond this warning box itself. Now, here is the good news. All right, it's moving relatively quickly. The warning is about to expire, but we saw those storm chasers on the ground chasing the tornado. Unfortunately, because they are professional storm chasers, we cannot use a lot of their data unless they submit it to the National Weather Service. Otherwise, we would be more than happy to share any kind of videos, but you know, unfortunately, we don't have permissions from that. So, latest is that it'll be around Hobbs around 3:45 p.m. Mountain Time, so still about 20 minutes ago. Makes sense considering where that box has kind of been located. Now, we're also not seeing a ton of that activity. Latest with that radar data too. Not even just radar, but also some of that velocity. Velocity readings, let's go ahead and just hit that pause button. Now, with velocity, towards away. Any reds and greens you see together tend to be rotation. Now, when anything is moving away from you on the radar, it's going to look like that. When something's moving towards you, it's going to look like that. When you have the two of them kind of going together side by side, what does that equal? Rotation. Yep, I'm kind of getting it now. So, let's reiterate. Tornado confirmed on the ground. Make sure you're taking shelter in a sturdy building. You don't want to be in your car. Yes, all right, you can probably outrun it. It's going 25 miles an hour. Don't do that. Do not do that. We're not trying to be these professional storm chasers. They got the better equipment and the better heavily modified vehicles to handle this type of situation. Leave it to the professionals to go storm chasing. Again, also a very dangerous profession. That's why we're not out there chasing these tornadoes. We are looking at the latest information about them on the computers. All right, latest from that, again, not getting a ton of information from that velocity, but we are getting a lot of that information from the radar itself. Notice just how quickly this storm itself is moving. That's why, again, when these warnings come out, we want you to take shelter. Even if it's close to you, you might not be in the warning box exactly. You certainly want to take cover in those situations. Now, we have a whole lot of storms across the region. So let's go ahead and actually just pause that radar. See what we're looking at right now. Main areas of interest going to be a lot of New Mexico right now. Southeast of Carlsbad, we got a strong severe thunderstorm warning with that. This storm in particular, latest reading on it is actually showing 60 mile per hour wind gusts and about $half sized hail. So 1.25 inches, maybe close to 1.5 inches, and still a significant type of storm system as it continues to push its way to the northeast. That's actually going to be moving at about 30 miles per hour. All right, the one to the north of that, actually kind of to the east of Loco Hills along Highway 82, another severe thunderstorm warning. Let's actually try to move the camera, but yeah, that one is heading toward Lovington by around 5 o'clock or so. Latest reading from the National Weather Service on that particular storm, still going to be about 5 o'clock until Mountain Time, that is. Mountain Time, so still about another hour on that storm. 60 mile per hour winds and quarter-sized hail, so not near as bad. When you start to see a bit of that purple on the radar, that tends to be what we call the hail core. That tends to be very heavy rain and the potential for some of that larger hail. You can see that a little bit more so with this storm north of Highway 180, kind of at the border between Eddy and Lee County. That one, okay, yeah, that is going to be where you're going to see the majority of that hail. Everywhere else in the bright reds, dark reds, that's going to be very heavy rain, which is why we tend to see some of that quick flooding, especially in the climate that we're out in West Texas. You don't see some of that really, really strong stuff. You still have that one storm in Hobbs. You still have that tornado warning. More than likely at this point, the National Weather Service is just going to let that storm expire. But before it does expire, let's kind of focus out a little bit towards Snyder. Snyder is starting to see a big cluster of storms as it pushes a little bit farther and farther to the east, out toward Sweetwater, toward Rotan, toward Aspermount, and even out toward Abilene. That's going to be the case throughout the evening. These storms, they're going to be moving in this direction, just from west to east on the screen that you see there. None of this is actually severe warned, so that is certainly going to be some good news. We're going to keep an eye on that just in case, but expect some very heavy rain and lots of that frequent lightning associated with it as well. Now, another one I want to focus on before we get off the air real quick is actually another storm just to the north of Sanderson. Still more of those tornado sirens going off in Hobbs is what we're getting reports of. Severe thunderstorm warning to the north of Sanderson, going to be heavily, the sirens have just turned off in Hobbs. That is actually what we're hearing. So that is certainly good news. And as a matter of fact, let's double check on Hobbs. Hobbs right now, no longer tornado warned. I'm not seeing that definitive hook echo. I'm also not seeing that significant hail core. But keep in mind, you still have that severe thunderstorm warning going to remain in effect for about the next 30 minutes. Still going to be no longer tornado activity, but still going to be some decent sized hail, 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts, and ping pong size. We're going to keep you updated, of course, throughout the evening and even going into the later part of tonight, because a lot of you guys I know are going to be in Midland, Odessa, Big Spring. There's a lot of outdoor activities. We're going to start to see activity ramping up around 6 to 7 o'clock. But don't worry, we're here for you on the air, online, and on social media. So stay tuned to NewsWest 9 for the latest.